It's Britney, bitch.
Welcome back to episode 11 of the Behind Track Limits podcast. Today we'll be talking about the Italian Grand Prix. You got to do it. So where do we start? Do we start with the qualifying?
Let's start Friday. I think the Friday is the place to start.
A lot happened this weekend.
Yeah, it was very dramatic, to say the least. Can anyone remember what happened Friday? Because I can't.
Valtteri Bottas shone on Friday.
Yes.
He shone like a rising star.
Yeah.
He is back.
I mean, he didn't even get a toe and still managed to get purple in all sectors.
Yeah.
Valtteri just is like, I've never seen him like this. Like my most relaxed driver on the grid. Like he's just so chill about everything.
There's no pressure anymore.
No.
Yeah, I think he's just
exactly.
happy everything's out in the open.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
happened on Friday?
It was Daniel and Lando. Like literally, it was like literal margins between that third place position.
Yeah.
And Daniel on Friday was gutted. Like I've never seen him like that before. He was just like, he was angry about it, not being able to get that like a little bit more on Lando or Max. And it was just, and he was like, yep, move on, ready to bring for Saturday. And then Saturday happened.
We're done.
Yeah, I can remember his radio being. He was so frustrated about this, and I read somewhere that he was like 43 centimeters off of Lando, I think.
It was literally like
So
milliseconds.
Yeah.
Imagine that's like.
Can we just talk about for like Antonio? I think he did really good in qualifying.
He's racing for his career.
Bless
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he had like 3 seats, well,
Yeah.
3 places
Three
to
races.
kind of pick up his A game to see?
Yeah, but
I feel
on the
bad for him
Saturday, he was like shining. He was up there. I'm pretty sure he made it into Q3, didn't he?
Yeah.
He qualified 8th but started 7th because of obviously Valtteri starting last.
Valtteri.
Yeah.
But that's really good though. Like he has 3 races to prove himself. 1 he couldn't because of the weather conditions, and then the 2 so far, he's qualified his best, but then he's been proper unlucky in the races.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak, Amelia?
Please. I hate to move it from quali to race just really quickly, but this is something that's really been bugging me. So obviously McLaren got the 1-2 and Valtteri went from last to 3rd. But why isn't anyone talking about the fact that George Russell got in points?
George Russell got 9.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that until like 2 days later.
I
I was like,
The thing my dad said after the race, he was like, there was no, oh my God, Daniel won. It was straight away, George Russell got points. And I was like, I didn't even notice
Daniel
that.
Ricciardo won.
I know Danny Rick won.
I feel my jumper
like
was very
going-
relevant.
I'm gonna go again.
It was honestly, it was such a good vibes yesterday.
get your shoes off, ladies. Get your
Today,
shoey
I
now.
literally not been able to stop talking about it.
I think we should just all do a shoey.
We should do a shoey.
Saturday, then we'll do the shoey.
No, I'm not even joking. We should all do a shoey.
I'm down for a shoey.
Let's
I'm
all
not
do a
kidding.
shoey.
You all do
Let's
it.
We will
Sounds like we're gonna do some A-class drug or something.
No, to be honest, I actually would do a shoey.
I would as well.
Should we?
I
No,
would.
I say we all meet at some point this week and do a quick shoey.
Yeah.
I'll do one now.
I was going to say that in the chat.
Can we
last
do it
night, that maybe
now?
we should do like a TikTok compilation.
Me.
I'll do it now.
I'll do it now.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go get a shoe.
Let's do it. Let's go do a shoey.
Figure out a bit.
Come on.
You're not serious.
Oh my God, Grace is gone. I don't think I've got anything to drink.
I really don't want to drink out of my
I
shoe.
don't want to put like my Coca-Cola in there.
I'm gonna do water.
I'm at uni. I can't put stuff in my shoes.
I am. I'm
wear
doing
these
it.
anymore, so I'll just use this.
I've got an old shoe and I'm
I can't believe I'm gonna do this.
Me and Vanessa are like,
So cool.
I'm out. Right, it's in my shoe. Okay, I'm ready.
Wait.
God.
How
Wait, we
much
doing
are you doing?
I don't know how to do this.
Are we going?
I'm going. Is
Three,
everyone ready?
two,
Do we need
1, go.
2, 1.
Oh, that is disgusting.
I just
I
felt
was
like
like,
oh,
Break.
Yeah,
You know what? Airport holds a lot of water. I'll tell you.
I don't know what just came out of my shoe into my glass, but it was something funky.
Oh.
But imagine doing that out of a race boot that's been worn for how many hours?
And the day before, and the day before that.
I don't want to think about it.
Well,
And it's someone else's.
Oh,
Zach Brown loved it though. He soaked that up. That is
Oh,
my
But he
day.
loved it.
oh,
single
Look
minute.
at
I,
Dot's just like admiring them. He was like
Look.
so happy for all three of them.
that's my wallpaper.
I love that.
Mine is. You ready?
Oh, mine's this one. Hang on.
Oh, this is my home one.
Oh my god, Vanessa, can you put your
You know what?
Well,
Yesterday, I realized why I love this sport again because I had a really, really bad day. I watched the race, and afterwards, I was McLaren heaven and was the happiest person alive.
We love that.
yeah.
It was.
If anyone
positive
asks,
vibe
why do
yesterday.
you love Ford?
Yeah, to show him that Daniel getting the thing is
Yes.
so much like nobody hated that. Everybody loved it. Like everyone loves Daniel Ricciardo. Like if you hate him, then you really are like you have
Really
no
aren't an
personality.
F1 fan if you hate Daniel Ricciardo.
This is what I mean. Like he deserves it so much for how hard he's worked, and then he's finally got that win. It was just like
He's come back a new man after that summer.
Yeah.
Oh, his
Never left, he said. He never left. That was the best thing ever.
I was just like crying when he said that. I was like, oh my God.
I
Just
was
at the side for a bit.
terrified.
I just moved to a side for a bit and I was like, oh my God, exactly the same. I think everyone was just a bit like really emotional about it because obviously he's worked hard.
Oh my God. Do you want to know what's proper funny? It was how the day before after Daniel qualified second, where Max was like, oh, if you get past me at turn 1, then I'll defend the rest of the race for you. But Max did make sure he won. Max made sure he won. And I was
Should we
like,
get onto that topic of
let's do it. Let's just get it out of the
let's
way.
do it.
let's get out of the way.
Max and Lewis.
I do think it was a racing incident.
I
They
do
both went for a corner. I think Max obviously ended up taking Lewis out because he hit the sausage curb and he was in the air. Like it couldn't really be it could have been prevented, obviously, like both like at least one of them pulling out. But when they're both there in the moment, no one wants to pull out. You're literally racing for the championship.
And it happened so quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. It happens in split seconds. And I generally do think it was a racing incident.
I thought somebody was obviously the angle they showed on the TV. I thought one of them was going to make it through and literally take the lead either way because they kind of came out at the same time. They both had slow pit stops, but obviously Max's wasn't that great, and it's very unusual for obviously the Red Bull team because they're like Guinness World Record holders.
Yeah.
And then obviously Lewis had his like really bad start. Well, we say it's bad, it was like 4 seconds, so it's not bad at all. But in hindsight, they kind of came out at the very similar time, and you knew Max then put his foot down. And no one is ever going to give each other room now because obviously what happened previously, there was a similar incident that could have happened which happened at turn 1, and then obviously which led Lewis to go off and take the safety route. So then therefore, I think that's what the stewards kind of went off, what is safe and what is unsafe in that area.
At the end of the day, you do also have to look at it as in the fact they're both fighting for the championship. So neither of them will want to back out. This is either one of their championships. So, you know, if you as a driver up against your component, you wouldn't even want to, even if there was
definitely.
Lewis could have moved aside, Max could have gone on the escape road. There's so many different views around it all, but you wouldn't want to back out.
Yeah.
No.
Right, and what's happened has happened. It's in the past. You know, it goes to prove again that the Halo is truly something incredible because, you know, like Roman Grosjean, for instance, if that weren't there,
That photo with Lewis's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the picture is just so like you can see like him ducking.
His neck would have just gone down.
You see him being like that. But it just proves that the halo will save lives.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, we watch races to see racing, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
Of course, it's dangerous, but the whole sport is very, very dangerous. And if one of them were to pull out of that and back out of it, we were like, okay, why did we want to see him?
Yeah, we would have.
Yeah.
And that happens when you see when you race. So
Exactly, and everyone's asked for someone to battle with Lewis for so many years because, like I've said in a previous podcast, Lewis never really has had the issue to fight anyone recently. And now that he's got someone to battle him and, you know, stuff like this is happening, there's a lot of varied opinions. A lot of people don't like it. They blame one driver or they blame the other. Some people think it's 50-50. I personally think it's 50-50.
This particular one, it was, yes, I agree. But you'll look back after all of the years of racing, like dating back to like Michael Schumacher, Senna, all of them had the similar rivalries that we are seeing with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. But because it's Max Verstappen and Lewis, for some reason, people are seeing this one differently, which is kind of what I'm trying to understand.
All the years. It's always happened between like championship contenders because at the end of the day, they want to win the championship. No one's going to let them pass. It's happened like this photo is literally from like Senna and Prost and all that. So it's like it happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, I just think it's different now because we have social media, and then you have
exactly.
like,
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like this
Max
rivalry is
fans.
different.
Like Schumacher
you
and
just
Damon
now
Hill.
read it
didn't have
and
that.
see it.
I
I
think
think as well we're so shocked because we haven't actually had a rivalry for so long.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a rivalry. I don't think we've had a rivalry since. Sorry,
Lewis has got a competitor. We can't actually everybody's I wouldn't say everybody's happy about it, but everyone's kind of so ready and so due a battle. Everyone kind of doesn't really know how to take it. You know what I mean? Because every other battle has been in a different era. I mean, obviously, you can contemplate we had in 2018, but we didn't really have a battle. 2016 obviously was the last time Hamilton was beaten, but before that, we've not seen a battle for so long.
Yeah.
And then they both have very passionate fan bases that won't take the other opinion into account. That's how we get to this point where one of them gets blamed.
that's the way of the world. That's the way of the world, though.
Yes, of course. But I think you had that with previous battles as well. You just didn't get to read it or hear it because now everyone has access to it. If you go on Twitter after the race, it's madness.
Yeah,
and that wasn't there before.
I think
because I feel like there are so many new fans as well. Like this is their first time seeing a proper championship battle, so they're just a bit. Some of them, not all of them, obviously, but because there are so many new fans, it's like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah, exactly. And just one thing is that people are taking to this championship rivalry between Lewis and Max so deeply is because Max is so young. Max has got he does have a young fan base. He has his entire country behind him. Not to say Lewis doesn't have his country behind him, because 99% of this country probably would support Lewis Hamilton in his racing. But I think people are so quick to just assume that Max is a dangerous driver because of his age.
Because he's young.
And previous what he's done. And I think his attitude, you see him 2 years ago, he'd been on the radio and he'd be saying whatever he thought. Yeah, he was upset yesterday, and I think that was the pit stop and doing different things yesterday. Obviously made him a little bit more angrier on the radio than we see as usual, but he's just been so calm, hasn't got anything let him get to it yet. Obviously yesterday we saw his reaction to what had happened. So I think people just kind of feed off that. Is it the right way? Is it not the right way with what he's saying? And for anyone, it's a high emotional sport. You're sat in a car for 2 hours at a time, and the 2 hours matters. It's not about the day before, it's about the race essentially.
Yeah.
But just think about
absolutely.
his character development bit,
Yeah.
because just after the race, the German people, they asked him, how long does it take you to get past this? And he's like, I'm already past this.
Yeah,
Let's get to the next race.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
have to remember a few years ago where he went to Esteban Ocon in the paddock and just,
Yeah, exactly. I
He
feel
has changed. He has
Yeah,
changed, and it's
100%.
proven well. And it's proven well in this championship. Not letting anything get to him in his zone. Every race done.
there's
You know
some.
what?
Yeah.
Go on, Amelia.
I've seen a lot of people, with regards to, obviously, I think Hamilton said how it didn't say it was rude. I think it just might have been a bit like, oh, okay, to like Max not
Surprising.
over to him after the incident, because you have a whole Red Bull on top of your car. But a lot of people have had their opinions on that and said quite negative things towards Max. And, I will sit here and say, I'm not a Max fan, but I respect him as a driver. He's an absolutely incredible driver, and it's so incredible to see the Lewis and Max championship. However, to go and sit and say that it shows like how Max is, after in interviews, he said that he wanted to be calmed down. You don't want to say anything in the heat of the moment. And
It's like they're running on such like high adrenaline, aren't they? That people need to remember that. Like, you're going to be so pumped up and everything.
And I think because it's shown as well, a lot of people look at him in such a bad way when he's not in any way bad at all. Like, he's respectful about everything that he does, like, I don't get it.
Yeah, but like when the thing happened at Silverstone and Lewis did check on Max, asking if he's okay, even like in the interviews and stuff, still got slammed for what he'd done. But Max didn't even mention Lewis once in any interview, or didn't even go over to his car after. Like, it's just like everyone is so against Lewis, like all the time. And I see like everyone's like with the whole like FIA situation, because Max has obviously got the 3 place grid penalty for Russia, and everyone's like, oh, the FIA are working with Mercedes. But what about the times that like in the race that Lewis had to bail out because Max had pushed him like far, like off the track and stuff, and didn't get nothing for it? And people were just always saying that the FIA are working with Mercedes, but I personally don't see it.
No,
I don't either.
Max gets away with quite a few things, to be fair.
Yeah,
So does every driver, though. So does every driver.
Silverstone, Lewis got penalised. Lewis got the 10-second penalty. Like, they're doing it. Like, they still penalise him. Like, even with like Alex Albon, they still penalise him and stuff. So people
can't give Max a 10-second time penalty when he's not in the race no more. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You have to penalise him somewhere else. But
People are looking at this 3 place grid penalty so badly, but Crofty put on Twitter, which is here, I pulled up my resources. He said, to try and help you all understand the penalty, the stewards, after finding Max predominantly to blame, have handed out a similar penalty to Max as they gave to Lewis at Silverstone. Obviously, they can't give a 10-second race as the race is over, hence 3 places on the grid for Russia. And people are looking at that so differently to Silverstone, for instance, because Lewis was still racing.
Yeah.
If Lewis wasn't racing, I'm sure he'd get a 3 place grid penalty if he wasn't in that race.
Yeah.
The stewards have looked over the incident and they've obviously come to that conclusion and just obviously gave Max that penalty along with 2 penalty points. And there's just such negative thoughts and feelings around it from all the fans, really.
I agree.
Fans, but it's racing. You're getting into a collision. You're bound to get a penalty. So
It's no different for any other driver, and as well, I think with that, I don't know if you'll have noticed, but Christian Horner and Helmut Marko have said nothing about it. I think they know that Max is responsible, and they haven't said anything about it, which is a new one for Red Bull. They've gone up in my estimations this week about how they've handled things.
Yeah.
But another sort of thing is, I think between Max and Lewis, I don't think their rivalry is that heated. I think it's the fans that make it worse.
Yeah.
I think they're driving to win, and things like this are going to happen. It's the way of the world.
Yeah.
The debate, and
Yeah,
You can see that respect through both of them.
yeah, and they've both shown the world that respect they have towards each other. So I feel like to say because Max walked away from the situation and didn't check on Lewis that he's a bad person for that, I don't really think that's fair, because wholly I feel like they would have said something to each other, like privately, instead of
They will definitely chat, and I think
they
there
all
might have to
communicate
be.
with each other.
I think there will have to be a point if another incident does happen. There will be a point where they all have to sit down and speak about it with, say, like the FIA, because we don't want anybody to be seriously injured for one, and we want really good racing, and I think that's what every fan wants. And to see all these like petty arguments and like silly things, we don't want that, and the FIA don't want that as well. So there will be a time and a place where it probably needs to be said. So there is there's two places at the back, and they are not showing any respect for each other, and I'm talking about Mazepin and Mick Schumacher, because there's incidents every single weekend.
They don't get
Practice sessions now, and it's literally to the wire, because they just want to be better than the other one, and they're not new to the sport, like they know the sport, but they're new to Formula One, so it will take them time to adjust. But yeah, so that's the thing you don't want to see, essentially.
Yeah.
For the first time, Mazepin took responsibility for getting Schumacher out, because like Ralf Schumacher, Mick's uncle, is a commentator for German Sky. He lost it on Sunday.
I heard about that. I think he told us in the group chat that Ralph wasn't very happy.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't happy last race. This race that happened again, he lost it. He maybe even said Mazepin did not deserve a space in F1 because, well,
I mean, he wasn't happy wrong.
He really wasn't happy. He wasn't happy last week that Mazepin nearly put Schumacher in the wall in the pit entry, but that's heated as well. And Günther Steiner doesn't do anything about it.
No,
He
he
can't really.
sometimes adds fuel to the fire, I think, because I think he's saying let them get along with it and they'll soon learn not to do it. That's like,
I don't think that
the thing I'm getting from it.
I feel like
They're both young drivers, so like they both sort of need to learn about being in the F1 paddock and everything. Because obviously they're rookies and everything, so they do have to learn. And I feel like Mazepin could probably be quite heated as well. So I feel like that's going to be a partnership that's never going to get along. To be honest, I think they will never think.
And also, I think with Nikita's dad like planning on buying the team and what, I feel like that makes Nikita more relaxed. Like he's not going to lose his seat. So I feel like he can risk it more.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if the FIA ban him for that.
Yeah.
They haven't signed yet, have they? Because obviously I know that Alfa Romeo are looking at Mick and following what he's doing, which is understandable. But they both haven't signed.
He hasn't done much, but just on a lighter note, currently on the 20-place grid, Nikita Mazepin is 21st. Because of Kubica, which is just great.
We managed to do that.
Ain't
it because Kubica was in the Alfa Romeo, so obviously he scored more points than Nikita.
He hasn't scored any points, but he's placed higher, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so Ellie obviously brought up about Alfa Romeo, and obviously we've got Valtteri that is confirmed to drive with them next season. However, we've still obviously got the one Alfa Romeo seat that's currently available. And I don't know if, I'm sure you all have seen, because I think I was sending it into our group chats, about Juan Yujo. And the fact that his sponsors like have offered to pay like 30 million just to get him that seat. So there's definitely like, if Juan Yujo gets this seat, there's going to be so much like controversy, and like people are going to be like, pay driver.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, personally, Juan Yujo is my favorite F2 driver, so I wouldn't mind seeing him in the F1's Alfa Romeo seat. But
There's people that deserve it more.
Antonio's not done anything to lose the seat. And to be fair, even if he's been getting good results recently, but, sometimes obviously he doesn't. And, it comes with the fact that he's not got the best car to get the good results. But it don't mean that I want to be our Italian Jesus on the paddock. I don't know about anyone else. I do.
Especially going into next year, though, with the new regulations and the new car, you'll want someone that is known by your team. You want someone that you can trust in your new car. You want someone who's going to test your new car to the limit, who knows the limits of the team, what the team wants. So I think it would be good to keep him for another year.
Yeah.
And see what happens. Like, see if anyone else could get the same opportunity as the other one.
Yeah, well, I'm just happy, seeing as though we have not had the episode, I haven't recorded since last week. I am over the moon that Alex Albon has signed, and I would have, don't get me wrong, hear me out. I would have loved to see Nick De Vries in an
I'm
F1.
going to leave now, just a second, no more ladies. I'm not listening to this.
See, there is potential.
That would have been great.
Romeo seat as well. So you never know.
I want to sit here.
Oh,
But
we're all so
long
happy
day.
for Alex.
I'm happy for
He
Alex.
spends like 10 hours a day in that simulator every single day, before, after the races, doing everything they ask. I think he fully deserves a seat back in.
He's very valuable to Red Bull this year. He has been one of the biggest parts of how Red Bull have done this year.
He's helped Perez
And
out
they've really
so
helped him.
much.
Well, then you have Nick De Vries, that is a 2-time champion in Formula 2 and then Formula E, and still can't get a seat. He's a literal champion. He's beat ex-F1 drivers in Formula E.
Going to be next.
He's beat the old F2 drivers and everything. Like, I don't get how he hasn't got a seat. Like, I don't know how much more.
Even if he was a reserve driver.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say something actually. It was about Alex Albon, I'm pretty sure, but it's flown out my head.
Him working hard, Red Bull helping him helping Red Bull.
Yeah, he had a lot of help from Red. I think Red Bull were heavily involved in his transfer.
I think he said
I know what
George was as well.
I know what I was going to say. So, does anyone remember when there was that massive controversy around Alex doing Lewis's line at Silverstone? Is Alex going to do Lewis's line at Monza?
Yes.
That's what I saw. It's like, he was like, they're going to spend weeks doing these lines.
Alex, hi, yeah, buddy. We just need you to just drive around the circuit, but just do Lewis's line, please. It's just for research purposes, mate.
Oh, dear.
That's what I was going to say. Oh,
I also can't get over why everybody is so mad that he's wearing an AlphaTauri top.
I mean, that's who it's just because he's signed for Williams, that does not make him part of the Red Bull fold anymore. Like, he'll still
He's
wear.
still at the contract.
Yeah,
He's got the contract
he'll
for
be
December.
He'll be contracted to wear that merch.
Of course.
but Alex, don't come to the track wearing Williams merch. We know you love them, but you still with us. But did you hear about how George was like proper pushing Alex to get that seat?
Yeah, he was as well. That's Nick De Vries. I bet Ellie wishes he had that kind of support.
I think that's probably what it was. I think it was luckily George had left, but I mean, yeah, I think it was George heavily influenced what
Maybe
was the
George
team's.
was still dating Nick DeVries' sister.
No, they're not together.
Oh, that's why.
they were
That's
still
why.
dating,
Oh, okay, yeah.
he
Okay,
might
yeah.
have got the seat. There might have been a bit of an influence.
Oh my god, though. Did anyone see Nicholas Latifi's post about George? I thought he was like,
Yeah.
what lads that vacation together stayed together.
He said that so many times, and it's so heartbreaking. Why is that going to be more upsetting than when Carlando broke?
I know they're actually really good friends, aren't they?
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that's probably one of the most underrated bromances on the grid.
Yes, yes.
George and Nicholas Latifi.
No one recognises that bromance because Carlando and
Max and Daniel
are just so so known and so like.
And I feel like with the media, like YouTube, like Williams, they do some videos, but they don't do like crazy activities like Red Bull and McLaren do. So I feel like you don't get a proper view into it, like behind the scenes.
Can we talk about George Russell and Daniel Ricciardo being friends?
I know. I was thinking that.
I saw it again today.
Instagram post.
But do you know what made me sad? Seeing Charles Leclerc excluded from the Alex, Lando, and George trio.
That's what I thought. I was like,
I was so sad. I was like, where is Charles? They are not a 3, they are a 4.
It's a quadrant.
It's a quadrant.
Not quadrant. Twitch quad. There we go.
I was like, I can't believe Lando posted without Charles. I was like,
I'm just ready to go to the F1 paddock and start an absolute riot over Nick and Charles.
I will join you.
Storming through next round.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I'll probably get kicked out, but it's fine. It is fine.
Talking about Lando, he was asked who his favorite teammate was, Daniel or Carlos.
He's a Daniel.
You know he wanted to say Carlos. You know he wanted to say Carlos.
Of course he does.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Can't ask a driver that because every single teammate that they'll have, it will be completely different to the last.
Yeah, exactly.
no.
Silverstone next year. Imagine if we had a George Lewis Lando podium.
Can we just manifest this, please?
Oh my god, it will actually like explode. Silverstone will actually explode if that's happening. Like literally, everyone will just be so happy.
I mean, you thought Silverstone was good this year. Next year, it'll be something else.
Behind track limits just need to sit next to each other. And then if we all you'd all just see us balling.
And we'll be in tears.
Yeah.
Oh, there they are again.
Oh, they're like crazy hot.
Thank you for watching today's podcast episode. We all hope that you really enjoyed it, and make sure you join us next week for another episode. Ciao.